Manifest from Ghana, karibu sana.
Asante.
We really appreciate you for being here, and you're looking
you.
absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and of course, what brings you to Kenya is, first of all, your album, right? Apart from that, before we get into that, is there anything else that brings you to Kenya?
I mean, my album is a good excuse to come see people I know here. So
Yeah.
it's always dope to touch base with friends and creative comrades here. So the album is the main reason, but there's always like a bonus.
Yeah. Any other bonus things you've done so far?
Oh, I
already?
really enjoy Nairobi. So for me, it's just like it's dope having that change of pace and change of feeling, kind of doing everyday things in Nairobi, because I like how the city feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you already know some Swahili words, which is...
You understand. But I already knew Swahili words before I came here, you know? I mean, since we were kids, we used to sing one or two famous Swahili songs. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Malaika, all those things.
I was thinking of Malaika, actually, because it's a song that it's not only Kenyan, global, right?
Yeah.
No, so. African, right? Let's say African.
Well, I mean, Africans are global, so it's global.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Let's talk about what brings you here and what brings you to Kenya. Your album, New Road and Guava Trees. First of all, the name itself, I was like, I really need to understand what this is, straight from the source himself. Talk to me about, the name.
First of all, before you understand it, did it sound good in your ears?
Yes, it did. And I was curious.
So that is the cheat code. Number one, it has to sound good.
Yes.
And number two, it has to have some meaning, which for me is just sort of where I am in this stage of my life, where I wanted to chart a new path or take a new road, and then also make a fruitful climb. So, and it also related to my upbringing, because I grew up in a place called Madina New Road, and there was a guava tree in my house growing up. So I put these two together and made it sound like a novel. New Road and guava trees. There we go.
Wow. That is absolutely amazing. I couldn't even fathom, think about what actually it means.
But it's sometimes you don't have to. It's like what's that famous book, 100 Years of Solitude?
Yeah.
I mean, like, sometimes it's something that provokes you. What did Jay-Z and Kanye said? It doesn't have to mean anything. It's provocative. It does mean something, but I'm saying the reason why I don't worry so much about do people know what the title is once you're intrigued, once it gives you some level of interest, sometimes that's all that's the beginning point, that all that matters,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, love in Nairobi.
Yeah. And let's talk about the themes of, the 14-track album. There's resilience, there's love, and there's other things. What really inspired you to, focus on these themes?
I think that's where I am as a person. Those are the things that preoccupy my mind. And some of these themes are not unusual. It's the perspective that I have now that gives it kind of a new tinge to it, right?
Yeah.
So a song like Highlands on the album is sort of how I feel when I see the chaos around me, whether it's in the world. You can turn on the news and whatever, but how I feel now as a person, as a father, not as like some 20-year-old, is quite different from how I used to consume it as a person. And then a song like Hang My Boots with Kim Promise as well it's a whole different perspective. The first song him and I had, it was more about I'm in the streets. This one is like, I'm leaving the streets, hang my boots. So yeah, it's a question of perspective. I'm able to go through similar and familiar topics, but with a different kind of mature perspective now, which I'm willing to share, because I think a lot of people can relate to it.
Yeah.
Because life is all about growth.
Yeah. And the lead track, Puff Puff, from the album name to Puff Puff, before you listen to whatever it is that is in the album, you are intentional about, attracting people to the names of, the songs and the album. Talk to me about this lead track.
Yeah, that was a track I did with the Cavemen from Nigeria and Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, it was organic, connected with the Cavemen first. I was in LA recording. They sent me something from Lagos, and my producer and I, Budo, just kind of rejected it. Then I was playing it to Flea. He was intrigued and put it together. I love bringing worlds together, so it felt right for it to be the lead track because it epitomizes what I do, which is really trying to hybridize worlds. So there you have them doing this kind of throwback high life music, but in a modern way. They are young guys. Me doing hip hop, and then Flea playing jazz trumpets, putting all these three together for a song like Puff Puff. And so we put it as the lead track because it helps lead people into the sonic journey that I usually take them on, which is usually a hybrid of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, BN as well.
Yeah, big up. Big up.
Talk to me about your linking up
Yeah.
to your, to the release, you putting him on your album as well.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't put him on my album. We worked together and it came on my album. It sounds like I went to carry him from the market. Like how much is a bien? Is a bien 20 million
Yeah.
No, we connected in Ghana a couple of years ago. Mutual respect, mutual admiration, and got into the studio and magic happened. So when people are dope and you connect, it's very uncomplicated what can happen. So it was one of those things that it didn't require extensive conversation or calculation.
Yeah.
It just happened and it was dope. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I understand you have such a musical background from your greats.
To some extent, yes.
Yeah.
I don't, even though I cannot read music to save my life. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Does that? My question was now, did that impact your career in any way?
Of course. I mean, where you come from or who you come from has such an incredible impact on you, even when you don't realize it. So yeah, growing up in the same household as my grandfather, who was a composer and music academic, was definitely impactful. You know the stuff that's around you that might not be around people normally. So, it's like you being in the media space, you might be so familiar with the name of cameras and other things that you take for granted for just knowing, other people might not know. So of course, it definitely had an impact on me by being close to somebody who dedicated their lives to African music.
Yeah. And of course, you've done a lot of traveling, stayed outside of the continent as well. How would you say that has also impacted your career? Right now we're seeing a lot of people, people outside of Africa, collaborating with Africans, taking our sounds, if that's the right word to say. How has that impacted your career? Do you think we are in the right place?
Okay. I think you're going to have to explain your question a little bit more.
Yeah.
Are you asking...
In terms of the export of, our
people,
genres?
other people using our music?
Our music. Have you seen that happen in the...
Of course.
We've seen as audience, as fans, as an artist now.
Oh, as an artist, I think, culture is obviously always the backbone of any kind of music or creative movement. So contemporary African culture is now dope. It's always been dope, but it's now dope to other people's eyes. Partly because we, at some point in the journey, stopped looking for validation and started liking ourselves. So in turn, the world has started liking us more than usual. And so what do? They'll naturally borrow.
Yeah.
Or they'll naturally, because, it's music and it's business, and when culture is cool, it's like hip-hop, right? Hip-hop is something that comes from, some of the most marginalized people in America, which is black people who came from the inner city. But now hip-hop is like multi-billion-dollar industry. Every fashion brand is whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that tends to happen with anything cool and culture. It is part of the thing. What we have to do is always be the ones to lead it. Be the ones to not worry so much what another person thinks or what people outside of that culture think. You understand? Because that's where you lose your way. That's where you start diluting what you do. That's where you start making compromises, and then in the long term, the spotlight will move to another thing. So for me, I'm not surprised, because if it's cool and it's culture, it will be appropriated, or it will be borrowed, or it will be used somehow, some way. I think it's an opportunity for us as Africans to better ourselves. I have said that, when I used to go to the UK when I was younger, Africans they would pretend to be Caribbean. That's not the case now. Music and art has reminded people even on that side how dope we are, that they claim the African heritage. You understand? So these kinds of things are not just of commercial and financial use, but it's of value to us in our identity and how we see ourselves and how we shape and imagine ourselves in the future. So for me, it's just really about having that agency and controlling what we do, and not letting the fact that we are being spotlighted or other people using it to compromise how we kind of move forward with it.
Yeah. How has your experience with Kenyan fans been so far, especially after the listening party over the weekend?
Party. Sorry,
yes.
I didn't let you know.
Yes.
Yeah, the listening party was great. I mean, it's always, I think the audience was very vibely. They even had me wheel up one track, so I was like, wow, okay, I didn't expect that. And I was trying to go into the next song, but the DJ and the audience decided that, nah, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
So that was dope. That showed me that people were really actually into it.
Yeah.
To play new music to people and they're asking you to rewind the track, that's mad. So yeah, so far so good. But I'm a patient person. I also respect that it takes work to really everybody has busy lives, right? They're paying bills, they're doing whatever.
Yeah.
So it takes work for people to, how do I say it? Pay you attention, which is the new currency, more than beyond the moment. So part of being here is to really honor the fact that, even though people might like the music, it's good to actually have a presence and connect with people a bit deeper. So me, I'm here to do all of that because it's kind of dope for people to hear the music, but it's dope for people to hear the music and connect to you.
Yeah. As we hear the music and absorb this amazing work of art, do you intend to, meet other rappers from Kenya as well?
I know rappers from Kenya. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm always open to meeting people.
I felt like that answer is an answer that you really don't want to give it out.
No, what I was trying to say is I've been known rappers from Kenya, from Camp Mula days to now. I've been known and worked with rappers from Kenya. So it's not a new thing. So it wasn't because I was hiding anything. No, even at my release, rappers from Kenya were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. As Kenyans get to know more about you as well, what would be, your message to your Kenyan fans?
I don't have a message. I just wish nothing but the best for you in your everyday life. Love those who are close to you, cherish and value yourself, and enjoy life. More joy, less suffering.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's New Road and Guava Trees. It is, right?
New Road and Guava Trees.
Yes, and of course I know they are all. What is song? If I purpose to listen to your album, and what is a song that you'd really pick for me? I know they are all your babies.
Yeah. No, but because I've seen your vibe, your haircuts, your smile. And your nationality,
Okay.
I think I will play you 3 songs.
Okay.
I'll start by playing Safe Place featuring Toby and Tania, which is produced by Blinky Bill. So, there's a connection there. I'll play you Spirits Rhythm featuring Bia and Darker Vibes, because you look like somebody who would like it to be in a drop top, cruising, going up the hills. Wouldn't you like that?
Yeah.
There you go. And then finally, I would play you Wine and Blues featuring Ira the J, because that's going to give you a lot of vim and pep in your step. So when it's cold, it can warm you up. Yeah. That's it. Those 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
I really do appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.